We may have just lost Furon there, but we do see the start here for both of our runners. And we will see the 3 treasure chests in the throne room, some gold. We see the fighter's ring, so that'll help out a little of that attack power with a bonus of 2. And the last one is always the magic key. So there are no spells and low attack power, but that 7 is going to be a little bit better. As Lorgan noted, there was low gold for both, so they could potentially restart and kind of re-roll as they go to try and get hand axe money if there was a town nearby. Janus looked outside and didn't see one, so is right back inside.
Yep, they both go right back in. Now, that gold chest that they pulled can have anywhere between 500 to 755 gold. So both of them rolling 507 and 517, rolling extremely on the low side. And as chat noting, it's as well as Bobski, not enough to get a hand axe, which can give you it can give you a 15 attack boost, but sometimes you don't need that boost when you're Tyerenex, as you get a crit on a Drakey for 3 experience and is just 2 away from getting to level 2.
It is always good to see those early game excellent moves that land and get you that experience.
So Tyerenex going to take the death. Meanwhile, Janus, they are looking around and, very close to this.
Yeah, it looks like...
one to the east.
Sorry. It looks like Tyerenex Castle is in the corner of Zone 0, so right into kind of the more dangerous enemies with the Scorpion there, potentially.
Well, Zone 0, it's a 15 by 15 grid that contains the castle, as now here comes level 2 for Tyerenex, 4, 6, 2, 16, and a triad of new spells, Sleep, Radiant, and Return. But that particular zone, it'll have the pool among 5 of the 7 weakest enemies in the game, whether it's the slime, the red slime, the Drakey, the ghost, the magician, the Magidraki, or the scorpion is the toughest of those enemies.
And Tyerenex opting to use the sleep spell and testing his luck with the magician. Unfortunately, not going to do it on this try.
And JJ Schmidt noting in chat that Magician's a little bit of a stretch. They have up to 12 hit points of damage, and on average you're hitting between 1 and 2 with the 11 attack power, so you're going to have to, more than likely, on average, sleep, but it's it has its share of challenges. Janus, meanwhile, they are still working on breaking the scoreless streak here as far as experience, and does so with the Drakey.
Yeah, that's a good start. Hoping to find one more to kind of break out of the level 1 funk. Hopefully they get some strength or the ability to get past this swamp, which looks like it kind of blocks the one way they can travel. And there's the second Drakey, but having not full hit points could put Janus in danger, and there is the death. So going to save that 3 experience and sacrifice half gold, going back to visit King Lork.
So not quite able to get it, but meanwhile here is level 3 for Tyerenex, 5 power, 0 agility, 8 hit points, and 2 magic points. And an ecstatic empty eye somewhere because of the 0 agility. He loves it.
I always like to imagine MTI having random bouts of euphoria throughout the day as people encounter MTI levels. That extra strength is going to treat Tyerenex well, as the Magidrake is going to be within range now. And Tyerenex probably just going to kind of stick around and hope to see another Scorpion or Magidrake to take out. A Magician will do the trick here, as level 4 is just on the horizon.
Yeah, now with that attack in strength, 2 to 5 on the attack, so only about 4 rounds here, and just like that, here comes level 4 with gains of 1 power, 2 speed, 3 hit points, and 1 magic point.
So we're just seeing kind of RNG deal a cruel hand to Janus here on the start. Just not able to find a Drakey to take down in time. No excellent moves for them, and that's really just kind of the difference right now between kind of breaking out of level 1 and getting to level 4. Not a ton to work with, but that sleep spell does help.
Over on Tyerenex's side. So Janus now working on and taking out the Drakey, so they're going to get to level 2 here. But a little bit of a deficit already here in the early going.
Luckily, with the early levels, they're pretty close together. So aside from, how fast someone can get away and get a hurt more or some, really game-opening spell, that experience deficit will be easy to make up.
Yeah, you look at it and you think, oh no, Tyerenex has 10 times the amount of experience that Janus has, but it's 62 to 6. I mean, one of them could find a metal slime, and that would easily flip in the other direction as they give up the 255 experience. To answer the question from McGrew, our creator of this lovely Dragon Warrior randomizer game, no, this is the standard fast. Going so fast here, although a little bit of a pause on Tyerenex's side.
I think the sleep spell backfired.
That's what you get for hobnobbing with Prince Valium from Spaceballs.
And this next level for Tyerenex is going to come at 82 experience, so coming right up on it, even with the Magician, which isn't the ideal enemy, but will definitely be easily handled with the sleep spell and the 4 attacks or so. This Magidrake might get the best of... Oh, never mind. Excellent move. So that's going to really help out Tyerenex's odds here, as he will take down the Magidrake and show us level 5. One, 7, 1, and 10 were the gains there. So still nothing earth-shattering, but Tyerenex showing excellent moves all over the place. Really can't ask for better excellent move luck than that. And someone can correct my memory, but I believe the excellent move is only a 1 in 64 shot. So that's pretty incredible RNG luck.
I thought it was 1 in 32, but okay, Beta Strep confirming, yeah, 1 in 32, and there's MTI with the 0 agility and the love for it.
So we see both Tyerenex and JanusZeal just kind of hanging out in the initial couple zones here, looking to kind of grind their way up until they can break out. There is a zone that has the Warlock up to the northeast of Tanagal, which is an enemy that we're not ready to take yet. So we will see how long we're stuck here in this zone doing the grind. But until then, we'll get a little bit more time to contemplate Tyerenex's good luck so far.
I'll also give you time to let you know that right here on this very channel, a little bit later this evening, in fact, a little over 2 hours from now, we have another matchup, and this is one that a lot of people have been looking forward to. It is a matchup between the 12 and 21 seeds. It's Nest Cardinality taking on Jay Coper, two veterans to a heavyweight matchup, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be exciting to watch. The strategies will definitely be played well in that match. I expect to see some interesting play and always a good race with those two.
So Tyerenex chipping away, trying to get to level 6, looking for the target number of 165 in terms of experience. Meanwhile, Janus now at level 4 is looking for the target number of 82 to get to level.
And Tyerenex just showing us a little bit more of the world there. It looks like swamp blocked on both sides. Unclear how wide the swamp goes off to the east, but the west we have seen that it looks like there might be more land to see. Just not ready to go across it yet with no heal spell and really no extra hit points to sacrifice to get across.
Which means this is one of those not going anywhere for a while, grab your favorite copyrighted candy bar type of seeds.
And so Tyerenex is probably 3 encounters away. Might take a death before, depending on kind of the encounter luck here. Janus has the Magidrake on the ropes and gets an excellent move to take it out. 12 more experience for Janus, and just kind of on the level go, right?
Yeah, I mean, the difference, probably a good 3 to 4 minutes, just the way things have gone here. But you see these strength gains have been rather minimal, just kind of inching away, one here, one there. And you mentioned those Warlocks a little bit ago. Not quite, well, really not anywhere close to getting there, as they can have up to 28 hit points. And at this point, with the 18 attack power, you're looking at an average damage range of 1 to 3. So I don't think you're going 14 rounds with a Warlock.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that fight just yet. I like the idea that you could be aggressive and take the, most experienced enemy you find, but really right now it's just kind of play it safe, get the levels as fast as you can. We did have that 5 strength start, got the fighter's ring in the throne room, so got us to 7. So we've gained 10 attack power for Janus, and unfortunately just 11 attack power for Tyerenex, but we will see that next level here soon. The one thing I will say, and I hope I don't give a commentator's curse on it, is that we haven't seen a ton of abilities from these early enemies, so for the most part they've been pretty friendly. Not exactly friendly. They're not welcoming with open arms, but they aren't dispatching our runners in one swing or one hurt more, one Dragon Lord breath just yet.
No, we did see that a Magidrake has heal, so that made things a little problematic for Janus. Now here comes level 6. 0 power, 0 agility. Empty Eye loves it. 3 hit points, 11 magic points, and the spell of Repel.
Yes, 2 empty eye levels there, or 2 empty eye stats there on that level, and really just kind of going to keep us here for a little bit longer. It'll give us a chance to run through how Janus and Tyerenex got here through the Swiss rounds. So Janus took a loss to Lorgon in round 1, won 3 straight against Poydrak, JJ Schmidt, and Couch 23. And then met Sparkover in the 5th round of the Swiss to take a loss to arrive at 3-2. Tyerenex, on the other side, took a loss to Concakes in the 1st round, won against J-Man and Basp, took a loss to Betastrep, and then won in Fury SK in the must-win 5th round to go to 3-2 as well and make the bracket. So... different paths. Janus had it locked up in week 4, and Tyerenex took it down to the wire in week 5.
Well, now you see here both at levels 5 and 6 respectively, Janus and Tyerenex doing a little bit of exploration to the west here, although Janus running out of resources, no way to heal, and the Magician just kind of picking them off.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's just not a ton of hit points to spare at this point in the game, having 25 hit points on one side and only 3 more on that level 6. So there are 2 towns on Tyerenex's screen, and finds Cantlin.
Oh, it's the shopping mall of Alifgard, although not a whole lot of money in tow. Well, could have enough here to get a club and a leather armor. That'll add 4 attack and 4 defense.
And should be able to provide a little bit more hardiness there for Tyerenex. Maybe getting over to this other town.
And Tyerenex going to head on to the south here to the other accessible shop and see what other wares there may be in terms of weaponry and armory. Oh, there's a silver shield. That can be noted for later.
And a Wraith Knight stops Janus, but they have seen at least one of the towns, so I would expect Janus will take pretty much a straight line right back over there. Just as Tyerenex also gets sent back to the throne room for a virtual high five and a talk with King Lore.
So now this is an interesting strategy by both. They're just kind of fighting and grinding, although that attack will be a little bit easier thanks to the 4 additional attack from the club.
Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any good way to get at those shops with any amount of gold just yet. So we'll have to see what that second town is and whether it opens up the seed for us.
Ideally, they are looking for it to be the town of Cole with Erdrick's armor, the best armor in the game, in the search spot.
Yeah, that would really neutralize these swamp tiles and also increase the survivability with the healing walk and, of course, the defensive bonus that armor provides.
Well, Tyerenex able to get away from a Wraith Knight. Takes out the Drakey here and gets 1 step away from the town and is going to take out the Drakey to find Garenham. So not the ideal town that they're looking for, but ability to purchase some items. Going to pick up some herbs. Going to pick up and put on the dragon scale rather as Tyerenex. So that adds 2 defense to his total. Meanwhile, Janus is doing a little bit of purchasing over in Cantlin.
And also snagging the dragon scale. So it looks like basically, aside from that leather armor, We're going to be pretty close on equipment right now, and really, there's not a whole lot of difference between the runners at this moment. They have the same exploration. Tyerenex has a little bit of an experience lead, but still within that one level.
Yeah, it's not even an 80 experience differential at this point. And Janus...
Yeah, Janus found that Druin, which insta one-shot that Tyerenex back to the throne room a little bit ago, but Janus got the sleep off. So the Druin could go down for some valuable experience here.
Oh, but the Druin has heal.
That is not a good second thing. I didn't see whether it was the Dragon Lord Breath or the Hurtmore or whatever it had, but it definitely was not a good enemy to see. Gonna spend the herb here. Oh, and it's breathing fire.
Yep, just the standard dragon fire breath.
And burns the herb and runs away.
But here's the problem. Absolutely no gold is going to sell the dragon scale and the fighter's ring, and that'll be just enough to get one more herb.
Yeah, if I were Janus, I would probably buy that herb and then just take the death and go back to the beginning and get everything refreshed. That way...
No, wow, that's just enough to stay at the inn. Interesting.
I don't think it's a bad play. I think it's just an option. I like to be able to heal on the map if I have to go through swamp to start, and there are enemies that could, easily handle us if we go around without full health. And taking a shot at the Warlock now.
Well, you're hitting 2 to 5 on it, so you're going to have to last roughly 8 rounds on average. So looking for those high fives.
Just keep hitting the Warlock with a club and hope it doesn't heal. Oh, there it is. It goes down. And 50 more gold, so potentially more herbs coming for Janus as they see level 6.
And the double goose egg.
But finds another Drakey zone. So this could be a very different zone than the one we saw before, but the Drakey will be dispatched with very much much simpler play, as just hitting it once deals at least the killing damage.
Yeah, barring something ridiculously unlucky, the attack range is from 4 to 9 HP with the 22 attack. So unless you roll minimum and the Drakey happens to have 5 hit points instead of 4, you're pretty much a lock to one-shot it every time, but there is that ever-rare possibility.
Yes, and it looks like Janus is pushing their luck and going after the Poltergeist. Hasn't gone back for more herbs, so we'll see what happens here. Does get the kill. I don't know if Janus is going to go back.
Nah, they're just pushing the exploration at this point, and is able to put the knight to sleep and run away.
And the Stone Man shows baby breath.
Tyerenex, meanwhile, getting level 7. There's 8 power, 2 speed, 1 hit point, 2 magic points, and we've got the Spell of Hurtmore, as well as Stop Spell and Outside.
Lots of spells, and Tyerenex kind of instantly goes for getting out of that zone, looking for better enemies to fight. And the Wraith Knight will fit the bill with 5 Hurtmore's amount of magic, now 4, taking the 72 experience and running right into Cantlin.
Well, this opens up the possibilities a little bit here. So now with that extra cash, going to upgrade to a copper sword. So that gives an additional 6 attack power. Not too bad if you need to take something out that doesn't quite get taken out with a hurt more, but we'll see if that comes into play if he runs into, let's say, an Axe Knight or a Green Dragon, but it might be a little early to get something like that.
Yeah, I would have opted personally for some armor or a shield, but I understand the play of upgrading. But with Hurtmore, he's not going to use the fight command very often. Everything that can't be Hurtmore is just too strong to handle at this point, with our hit points at only 29 maximum.
So now that we see that Hurtmore is at level 7, Janus at this point, taking a death to the Poltergeist, but is 109 experience away from getting that Hurtmore spell.
So we'll see a little gap here open up. I think Tyerenex will probably end up with a 300 to 400 experience point lead, just after the 4 to 5 minutes it might take, depending on Janus' encounter luck here, and whether the specters like to stay asleep for him or for them. And we have seen a lot of expensive and useful items, but at this point, we don't know if there's a gold grind available. So we'll have to wait and see if, say, the magic armor out of Garenham or those 2 silver shields sitting in either shop in Cantlin that we've seen. Tyerenex shows us that, well, it looks like this continent might end, over here at least.
And we do know there was some swamp to the east, but with the minimal HP, neither of our runners looking to be that adventurous.
And Tyerenex, instead of flipping the coin on the Hurtmore, decides to sleep the Stone Man and take the walk back north and just run away. I would expect that Tyerenex will probably go back east, but I would potentially grind a little bit more. We'll see what Tyerenex opts to do here as Janus takes down another Poltergeist to go to just under 260 experience.
So Janus now with the purchase of the leather armor in Garenham. And don't forget to make sure to give our runners a follow here. JanusZeal6 and Tyerenex giving a heck of a race here for you tonight. Make sure added channels to look in your followed arsenal, as it's like increasing cable, only not having to pay for it. 3, 6, 7, and 3, the gains on level 8, meanwhile, for Tyerenex.
And the Warlock just not wanting to cooperate with Janus there. So this will be kind of the crucial point, at least in the early game experience lead, is how long it takes Janus here to get to this next level. About 60 experience away right now. Just needs to get there by any means possible to see that Hurtmore and really kind of make this seed go much faster. Dispatch many enemies with just 1 Hurtmore and really gain some valuable experience.
And that's where I think that Janus, they've got a good chance to catch up in that, they are a very experienced runner, more so than Tyerenex. So I think that expertise, that number of seeds that zone there. That's going to be very helpful, although Tyerenex running away, probably out of resources, going to restock just moments before level 9. So apart from what we have found so far, it looks like that which our runners are seeking is east through the swamp.
And Janus hitting some Drakies with that club. Hopefully going to go and heal here and avoid the one-shot of the Druin. As Tyerenex goes above 1,000 experience already, just showing how fast that hurt more really makes this grind go.
And a huge HP gain there at level 9, 19 hit points. And an upgrade to the half plate armor for Tyerenex. To a defense boost of 16, so that's 12 additional defense points for Tyerenex.
And the next level will come at 1,500 experience, so we'll be a little while before we see the level, but it won't be too long, especially if the Magiwyverns and the other enemies in the zone really continue to show up for Tyerenex here.
Yeah, the ideal enemies for Tyerenex, the combination of those Magiwyverns and the Wraith Knights.
It will be interesting to see if Tyerenex happens to take a Death Warp, if they will choose to explore east instead of coming right back to this grind. It is a good grind, but it's not necessarily all about the grinding in the early game if there's a key or a sword accessible going the other way. South and west is definitely a dead end. It actually looks like it might be the southwest corner of the map because it does come to a square corner. So it looks like we might be in the southwest quadrant of this 120 by 120 map.
So we've got an upgrade to the hand axe on Tyerenex's side. So that's an additional 5 attack power. Good for swinging at things.
And one more Wraith Knight would do it here for Tyerenex getting to the next level. And there it is. Here's the Wraith Knight, there's the Hurtmore, and down it goes. And we do have a heal spell, and some good gains on the magic and hit points there. And this grind is looking efficient for now. There might be other efficient grinds on the map, but I do agree, I think this is a good way to get the resources here early on. Having seen the heal spell, I like to play aggressive in these matches, so I would probably be out on the map looking to see something else, but that is a personal preference. I think it could go either way. And there's the herbs and the return, just as Up2NG is saying in chat.
Given the types of enemies that are there, given that you've got those Magiwyverns and Wraith Knights that are, it's also very tempting to potentially just hang out there for another level, throw down the spell of Repel, and just hurt more of those enemies to get yourself to level 11. Maybe even tempting to go to 12 if you haven't really seen much else, but there's also the prospect here of the exploration and not knowing what your opponent is doing. There is that yeah, that sweating out purpose of, got to find the things, got to find them fast.
Yeah, it can really be a mental game here in the blind races of Randomizer. You don't know where your opponent is and what they're up to. Janus is about 1,300 behind after getting level 7 here. 3 level difference, so that's just a little bit unlucky. The experience gain kind of slowed down for Janus, just not getting good encounters and things not staying asleep for them.
And now the Hurtmore not hitting on that Wraith Knight. It's got about a 18 or 19% shot of missing the Hurtmore, so that was unfortunate for Janus as well. And to answer the question in chat, Janus is the 14 seed, and Tyerenex is the 19 seed.
And Tyerenex has stumbled into Hawksness, one of the destroyed towns of the land of Alefgard, but also of note has a destroyed shop which may have one of our quest items. I think Janus is probably hoping to find the armor, but the token would be a good consolation prize. But the golem is not going to be handleable right now. That's not the enemy you wanted to see. You wanted to see something that was vulnerable to hurt more, like this blue dragon. But the Axe Knight would have been ideal. So still an information advantage, but Tyerenex not winning the Hurtmore basically coin flip and getting sent back to visit King Lorik and have the lecture about tempting fate yet again. That would have been a huge experience gain for Tyerenex.
It's nicer in this than in Dragon Warrior 2.
And Tyerenex getting just verifying that they're not missing any close exploration there. I was wondering if that swamp to the south would open up, but it does not. There is nothing down there. And a werewolf with a good Hurtmore enemy will use the hand axe to polish this off. Oh, doesn't go, and the sleep spell comes out, and Tyerenex is cold as a cod. Yeah, I was hoping that, as Tyerenex probably was, that the roll on that attack was going to be just a little bit higher, because the werewolf can go down in one hurt more, but saw full HP and just got unlucky with the rolls, it looks like. I think if I were Janus and if I felt behind, I might try to hurt more that Stone Man twice to get myself a cool 155 experience, just taking that coin flip and trying to get lucky.
Now we have a Swamp Cave find on Tyerenex's side that connects from one end.
And Tyerenex finding the Stone Man on the second trap tile that we've seen. Probably not going for... Oh! Just checking strength potentially, or a mismenu? Mismenued. So Tyerenex is just going to go on through the Swamp Cave to see what they can see. Any green dragons they find, they're going to hurt more. That's a great enemy to find at this point in the game. Should be just one swing of the axe, and it should go down. And that'll get us really close to this next level. The next level comes at 2175, so just one enemy away, most likely, based on the hurt-moreable status of most enemies.
And we've got... Oh, a neighboring town, and it's Rimmildar.
That's a huge break. It's not the ideal, right? You kind of hope to backdoor into Garenham just because it's a free chest there, but this is a very good second option. Getting keys, they'll have the chest here, they'll be able to access the treasury and the Tanagle basement. This will really open things up, so we will probably see 6 chests opened here in short order for Tyerenex, and maybe more, depending on how Tyerenex feels about exploring the world.
Well, you figure if you head back to the castle, you've got the 4 chests that are in the treasury. You've got whatever's in the back of Tanagle. That could be a cave that has something. And then you head on over to Garenham. There's 3 more chests there. We've got a big buck chest here in Rimmildar.
And I totally conflated this with the seed I was watching earlier, so we don't know what's in the basement. I was counting 1 chest down there, so yeah, lots of chests in play now here for Tyerenex with the key set.
So a small shield purchase now, and yeah, the exploration and experience advantage definitely tilting heavily in Tyerenex's favor.
But Tyerenex looks like they're going to explore and see, and there's another cave. Red Dragon might get in the way. Oh, first turn run. That's good luck with that 46 agility. And into the dark we are. Mountain Cave. So we get some chests here, and we will probably get a Death Warp out to go right into the treasury and hopefully get a gold grind set up. Tyerenex has seen the silver shield in nearby Cantlin, so definitely going to... Wow, that level was crazy.
802331.
I'm sorry, were we missing stats just then? That was an incredible level. After some of the gains we've seen, I'm not surprised, but definitely something for everyone to love there, as Empty Eye noting the agility gain was non-existent.
All right, so we have an herb to start. There's a magic key.
And Janus might get this metal slime. It's sticking around and has done 2 damage. There is the metal slime kill.
And just like that, Janus is 10 experience away from level 9. Meanwhile, we've got a torch in the mountain cave.
But the Fun Police had to put an end to Janus's killing spree there with a cave on screen. I think that was Swamp, but I could be mistaken.
Oh, and now a metal slime on Tyerenex's side. And big bucks, so not really much to speak of in the mountain cave.
Yeah, a few things that you don't mind seeing, some extra herbs, your torch that you'll use later, but not a ton. Nothing that was game-breaking if you would have skipped this cave. And Tyerenex, as I guessed, just takes the Death Warp and will now be hoping to set up a gold grind here. The gold grind is one of the useful tricks when you're trying to go fast through the randomizer. An empty chest. A sword Magidrak? It looks like the wings there. Oh, maybe an herb.
Nope, it was wings. There's a dragon scale.
And the harp,
silver
one of our quest
harp.
items.
Now, the reason for that strange notation of the sword magidrak, bamboo pole, things of that nature, the game only tracks up to 8 treasure chests as opened at a time, and every time you go to the overworld, the game resets those chests, so whenever you leave and come back, those treasure chests reappear. But it only notes up to 8 chests as open, so every chest taken beyond the 9th chest can be opened over and over and over again without it disappearing. So in this case, having opened the 5 treasure chests in the mountain cave, death warping back to Tantagel Castle, because you haven't gone to the overworld, that counts the other 3 that are in the throne room, so you don't take them over and over again. As hold on, we've got the town of Cole and Erdrick's token on Janus's side. But then you hope that by the 9th chest you can take it over and over again, and you hope that it's gold, although in this case it looks like that was another set of wings. And Tyerenex is making an immediate beeline over toward Garenham and Cantlin, keys in tow.
This is definitely the right call, just to see how much more exploration is really necessary before grind and go. Tyerenex looking to either find the flute or the armor. We happen to know that the token is in Cole, as Janus just showed us, but Tyerenex might be thinking it's a quest item on the map.
Or the ever-important Erdrick's armor.
However, we get a go and fight. We hadn't seen any cursed belts with the chests that we had seen, and sometimes all of the items that we need can be either found on the search tiles in Hawksness, Cole, and the map, or sometimes they are in chests. So the fairy flute and the fairy flute is in a chest somewhere. The token is in Cole, and the armor we now know is in Hawksness.
So it is guarded by a rather nasty golem.
So that fairy flute would be a good find. Sometimes it's not as useful, but in this seed, the golem looks to be a formidable enemy, not vulnerable to that hurt more, and our attack power is still pretty low.
Yeah, 43 strength at level 11.
Tyerenex would be very happy with the sword find here. 3 more chests and potentially the Grave of Garenham still at large, as could be in the vanilla underneath Garenham spot. And instead, it's the Stones of Sunlight cave with some gold. Not a great way to use that gold. It doesn't look like a gold grind available, so it doesn't look like we'll see that silver shield picked up today. I think the best we'll see is a large shield if we find one. And the golem is showing Tyerenex some baby breath. Still not really a friendly enemy, and a stone man is just not what Tyerenex is looking for right now, as Tyerenex is looking to expand the map exploration, I should think. There is a ton of magic by level 11, but no heal more, so really fights with enemies that are just a little bit too strong for us right now is really not something we're interested in.
So we've quickly gotten a lot of things found here, so we know for certain that these Stones of Sunlight are going to be in Garen's grave.
I believe the flute has the chance of being there, but it could also be unaccessible to our runners until they've collected all their quest items, if I'm not mistaken. It could be in Sharlock, which I don't believe we've seen yet this game. And just as I say it, Tyerenex proves me wrong, finding the big C on the map.
Well, you were right at the time. It was just he quickly put that mystery into the solved file. And we've got a cave here, and this is, well, that's where you'll trade in those respective items.
That is our good old friend the Jerk, who will kick you out if you don't have the items and try to visit him. Janus finding another cave here after finding Hawksness. This is probably... Oh, Staff of Rain Cave, and does not have the harp yet, so we'll have to come back and find it. I don't know if Tyerenex saw it earlier. I wasn't... I think he took a Death Warp out of Hawksness, correct? And hasn't revisited the area?
Tyerenex, I believe so. I know Janus just saw Hawksness and opted to nope out. And Janus out of resources in the swamp and having to take a death.
Yeah, just opting to take the death, running out of resources, out in the middle of nowhere, and knowing that it's a little bit faster than waiting for an enemy to take you down and send you back. My apologies for going quiet there. My dog needed some attention. Question in the chat, do the enemy spells or spell chants get randomized or just location? Both the enemy zones and the enemy abilities are randomized. The spell resistances, however, are not. And Janus looking to find out here what is on the trap tile. As we know, it's the Golem, which is not a friendly enemy at this point. Level 10 or 11, still not enough to handle it. Oh, and a surprise Golem outside of the trap tile. And the enemies of Hawksness just trying to keep Janus from seeing what is on the trap tile. One last-ditch effort to run, and a blue dragon is not allowing that either.
Yeah, the enemies of Hawksness are looking very much like the enemies of Sharlock once we get there.
Unfortunately, the blue dragon stepped in before Janus could see that trap tile, so I think Janus will probably take a quick trip right back there and hope to actually see the trap tile, hoping for an Axe Knight, but we know it's going to be that unfriendly Golem. Tyerenex making the trade for the Staff of Rain, so has one of the quest steps out of the way, and will be hoping to find the Grave of Garenham and the Stones of Sunlight, which could also be in the Tablet Cave, correct? Or did we see Tablet Cave and I just mentally forgot?
We did see the Tablet Cave, and I believe it was in the basement of Tanagal, and I believe it contained wings. Or it was either wings or money.
Oh, that's right. I do recall that now.
No, that's what it was. The Vanilla Stones Cave was money. The Tablet Cave was wings.
That's right, because there was no gold grind available, so it was underneath Tanagal.
Yeah, the only chests that have not yet been opened are the 5 in Garen's Grave and the 7 in Charlotte Castle.
And Tyerenex and Janus actually just passed within a screen of each other at the same time there. About 900 experience separates them, so Janus has come back a little bit in that experience separation, but just a lot of exploration advantage to Tyerenex right now, so still firmly in the driver's seat and a huge hit point gain level with the spell of Heal More. That's going to really make this a playable golem. Not a friendly one, but a playable. And Tyerenex sensing just that, especially since Tyerenex was in the neighborhood, just going to stop by and collect their armor from that abandoned spot with the friendly golem.
Well, maybe. I mean, with that 63 attack power, you're looking at a range of 8 to 16 on a golem that can have up to 153 hit points. So, on average, you're going to go 13 rounds here with it. I don't know if there's well, with the baby breath, you might be able to last a little bit longer.
You've got the magic to deal with it. We have 102 magic at full, and Tyerenex walked in with 60 magic points, so going to be 7 heal mores available for this fight to extend. And it looks like that baby breath is a fairly consistent spam, as well as a stop spell every once in a while, so that'll really help make this an easier fight.
Well, as long as the golem doesn't hit with that stop spell, because then you can't use that heal more.
Oh, that's true. Yes, that would really make this more difficult. And Janus shows us that Breckenary is on the walls of Charlock. So not a town that Tyerenex saw the first time, but we'll find eventually when it's time to visit Charlock.
Oh, and the stop spell hit on Tyerenex, but having done enough damage, is able to take out the golem, and there is Erdrick's armor.
So getting pretty lucky there. I didn't think of that strategy for the golem, but yes, definitely a danger that it stop spells you and you can no longer heal more. But now, with Erdrick's armor, stop spell is not an issue.
Yes, Erdrick's armor, the best armor in the game. It not only negates the spell of stop spell, every step you walk, it heals 1 hit point. Plus, it reduces the damage done by the Hurt and Hurt More spells, as well as the Fire Breath and Dragon Lord 2 Breath, all by a third. You also take no damage when walking through swamps and barrier tiles. And, well, it also has that 28 defense, so that certainly helps as well.
Janus is going to find the Jerk, so we'll know where to eventually return with the quest items, but right now doesn't have anything to really help the Jerk out with the quest. So right now, Janus making some notes on their map and continuing to explore. We know that Janus really wants to find some keys, so is looking either for a cave or for the town of Rimuldar, which we know is just next to Swamp Cave, one of the exits. And Janus showing us the right edge of the map. So I think we've seen most of the center diagonal of the map, as we saw the bottom left-hand corner, and now we are seeing the upper right-hand side, or the northeast side, of the scrambled Alefgard. And Janus did stumble into a cave just on the north coast, and it looks like it's going to be grave here, I believe. Oh no, that is where Mountain Cave is. So that means that Remolder is just to the west, if I'm recalling how Tyerenex found Mountain Cave.
Correct. It's to the when you get out of the swamp cave, Rimuldar is that one tile south of the swamp cave. But if you go to the northeast, that's where you see the mountain cave.
It does indeed look like one very large and complicated continent. Looks like there's some continuity between this part of the map. We'll see if it spirals around off to the west even more. I think Tyerenex had explored a little bit, but then had gotten blocked by, I believe, a red dragon. So Janus, hoping to find a key here, is unfortunately, I don't believe... Actually, there might be a key in one of the two chests up here. So may find a key, but other than that, really isn't going to be super happy with the finds of this cave.
Oh, so Janus, I didn't realize this as I was kind of bouncing back and forth and dealing with some other things here. But Janus found the mountain cave by walking along the one continent and did not go to the south where the swamp south is, as well as Rimuldar. So Janus has not seen that, whereas Tyerenex found the swamp cave first. So there's the magic key.
Yep. And so Janus now has keys available, but it looks like Sharlock is really going to be the decider here, as Tyerenex just has a commanding experience lead and really just is searching for the Stones of Sunlight and the Erdrick's sword, currently sitting with a broadsword and not a ton of strength. So it looks like Erdrick's sword will probably be necessary, barring a huge set of strength gains in upcoming levels. Now, of course, Tyerenex doesn't know whether or not they have the lead, so that'll be interesting to see how Tyerenex plays out and explores slightly past the entrance to Swamp Cave, I believe. Taking a step south.
Well, Janus is going to do the Death Warp and will acquire keys, find out that there's not a gold grind available.
There isn't a gold grind available, and while that is unfortunate, as I'm sure Janus is hoping to be able to buy that silver shield, we'll also save a little time. Obviously, taking the gold grind does take a little bit of time, and Tyerenex stepping out and showing us it was indeed Swamp South or Swamp North to Swamp South, and exploring to the west. As we now know, Tyerenex is very far north on the map, north central-ish.
So this is just coming down to where is Garen's grave?
Yes, indeed. Janus was going to catch up pretty quick here on the quest items. But again, kind of the first person to get into grind and go mode, and then choosing the right grind is really going to be important, as Tyerenex shows us 1, 4, 11, and 5, and another spell. So just the spell of hurt, and 1, 4, 11, 5, as I recall saying. So some gains, but not the one you were hoping for. Not strength.
47 strength at level 13. Although we've got a cave here, and I think this is it.
There it is. I was going to say that death necklace is looking pretty attractive, as Tyerenex already has it, and Janus will find it very shortly.
So deep into the grave we go, as a torch, fairy water, and big bucks line the top of Garen's grave.
Okay, and no stones of sunlight on the first floor for Tyerenex, so on to the bottom two chests, one of which will hold the stones of sunlight, and Tyerenex is hoping for Erdrick's sword coming up here, which will do a lot to make that 47th strength look a little bit better.
And Janus, realizing that wings are in the tablet cave in the back of Tantagel.
And I'm really hoping that Janus... Okay, good. I was hoping that Janus didn't go back to the east and skip this quick step of going to Garenham, kind of checking in and knocking out all the key quest items, or the key chests, I guess, over here. In Cantlin with the check for the search coordinates, which we know is nothing, and Garenham, which doesn't have anything, but you should definitely check it. I believe it has the death necklace inside.
It does, which could be very likely to be in use here, given the low strength gains, unless we get some big gain at 14 or 15, or even, dare I say, 16.
Yeah, I would be interested to see. I know that the choice of grind is going to be important up here, coming up in the grind and go. There's a cursed belt, and so Tyerenex finds the bad news that Erdrick's sword is somewhere in the Big Sea, and but does have all the quest items, so is in grind and go mode at this point. I'd be interested to see if the death necklace comes into play during the grind, depending on just kind of which enemy is chosen. I'd expect the Stone Man in the swamp, but considering the availability of the Remoldar Inn on the South Swamp Cave exit, we should see a grind on the Stone Man, I should think, but it's hard to say.
It most certainly is, and as Tyerenex continues to... It's kind of a grind and fight type thing here, as now, I mean, we know that Erdrick's sword is in Sharlock. You wonder if that'll be the next play here.
Yeah, the other option is, of course, grinding in Sharlock Castle, and Tyerenex is going right up to take care of the quest and get the Rainbow Drop from the Jerk. And we might even see the Sharlock grind, which can be effective depending on what enemies are on the top floor.
Well, if there are werewolves all throughout Sharlock, that might be a different story.
Yeah, they do have that pesky sleep spell. They aren't likely to use it looks like, but there are available inns near both the Sharlock and the Swamp Cave grind, so it's hard to say which is going to be more preferred, considering the Stone Man is in the swamp, and you just kind of get the luck of the draw on that top floor in Sharlock, but they're all Sharlock tier enemies, so finding an Axe Knight somewhere on the map in a high encounter rate area would be kind of my preferred choice, but I don't know that we've seen a ton of Axe Knights on the map.
No, they've kind of taken a vacation today here.
And Janus did find Swamp Cave and is going to find where Remoldar is and just kind of see the bad news that Remoldar was in a place that if you got lucky and stumbled into it, it made keys available much sooner.
And to answer the question in chat, yes, the Erdrick's armor is guarded by the Golem and Hawksness.
And Janus getting more NPC block coming from the guard here in the shop, upgrading to the broadsword, so we'll get more attack power, and we'll probably go in and fight that golem right now.
And just like that, well, there's a Hurtmord werewolf, but not what you like to see in the top part of Sherlock. And Tyerenex kind of doing something twofold here. Not only working on the grind, getting some of those enemies, but also getting an idea once that final dive ends up needing to be taken, what enemies he's going to have in store.
Yeah, I totally neglected to remember that this is a sword dive, potentially. I was thinking, it's grind and go, but we should actually be thinking about getting that broadsword, helping out the less than ideal Hurtmorable grind tiles. The Stone Man is a coin flip. The Golem, you don't even want to try it. But I do like this call of diving. Get some good information and really kind of, makes that sword available. Get that extra attack power. Compensate for that strength when you have to. And hopefully find yourself some AKs or the Axe Knight. But we haven't seen too many so far. And another werewolf.
And chat reminding me that, yes, that means it's time to play the ever-beloved in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer community, the 25,000 gold pyramid guessing game. Which of the 7 chests do you think it'll be? Well, any of these 6 chests that are arranged in a pyramid, just like the old 80s game show with Dick Clark that we all know and love. 50 in the bottom left, bottom middle 100, bottom right 150, middle left 200, middle right 250, or the top chest 300, or if you think it's going to be in its vanilla location, well, there are people who swear by the judge's table, as it's known.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the vanilla chest. I know it's not always a great choice, but I think the way this seed has gone, everything is not quite as convenient as it should be. So we're going to go with the vanilla.
Well, looking at what's left here, no, it's not the dog's table there, Lord of the Synth. I'll think that the seed's gonna at least throw them one little kind thing. I'm gonna say that it's in 150, the closest one when they enter the door.
And AK is showing they have firepower. Unfortunately for them, we already have Erdrick's armor, which halves the damage we take from Hurtmore.
And another 1 power gain at level 14. 48 power at level 14.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see.
That's why I'm thinking the game is going to go, all right, well, here's your sword. It's really close by. Good luck fighting up to get the power for it. Ha 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 ha. So, meanwhile, Janus is going deep into the grave, where they will get their cursed belt momentarily. And here we go. But first, a Stone Man. So, fairy water. So much for my 150 guess. Magic key. An herb. There's the flute, so it's in vanilla. Oh boy. Well, just when you think you've seen it all, the game goes and throws that at you. So, Tyerenex probably looking at the map, as it's more than likely been a while since, most people don't exactly go right for vanilla. It's pretty much a linear path, though. So, Tyerenex, apparently, like a tiny dog, we pause. Hey, it worked for Betty White. And there is Erdrick's sword. So that boosts the attack up to 90. I mean, at this rate, you could probably just grind your way up to Silver Shield money naturally. And yes, Chaos Lord, that was in fact Vanilla Erdrick's sword. And it seems like we're either going Silver Shield or Small Shield, as I don't believe any of the different shops had a large shield. And Set for making a really good point in chat here is that as much as we've been focusing on the lackluster strength, the agility hasn't exactly been a picnic either. As Janus now taking a death here. And a note in chat that the next race may be delayed. I don't think that this is going to go another hour. At least I sure as heck hope not. Yeah, the Seawolf is right. The stats are there somewhere. And Tyerenex is going to go back to the Golem here. Interesting. I mean, it's certainly not a bad play, given, well, there's not really much else to go with. I mean, you've got a lot of HP. Just stay above 42, heal more when you have to, and you're good.
Okay, and it looks like Tyerenex is choosing to grind on the Golem. Is that what I am seeing?
That is correct. Now, a programming note, there was supposed to be another race at 9 o'clock, but that actually got moved to tomorrow night. So the only other tournament race that we have apart from this one will be coming up in just over an hour from now, right here on Randomania, provided that this ends by that point.
Hopefully it's not a pile of golems that we have to go through. I'm hoping to see some strength come through here at level 15, but the more time it takes, the better Janus's chances are here to kind of narrow this gap. But it looks like they're going to be doing the same grind, potentially, here. Oh, no, Janus hasn't gotten the armor yet.
So, Bobsky, while you were out, the chat noted that we did, in fact, have Vanilla Erdrick's sword.
Ah, so I got my vanilla chest correct.
You most certainly did.
Well, my dog Bagel was requiring a trip outside, and now she is sitting on my lap eating a treat. So I have the lap-warming dog watching these dueling golems go on.
And here comes level 15 with 26 power. There's the strength. We're still not where we need to be, but it's a lot better than it was.
And our hit points aren't even to the death necklace point. I was thinking maybe, just maybe, we can stretch it, but man, we don't have the hit points to give. As much as I thought we might earlier, they just haven't come along while that strength is still lagging behind. So level 16, not for the spells, but probably for the strength. Still hoping to see another double-digit gain.
Yeah, with 120 MP, it's a little dicey if you're around that 126 to 120. 128, you're good. 126 is a little iffy. So you're definitely looking for probably another 12 more attack. Or 2 if you get enough HP to utilize the Death Necklace. The Death Necklace, when you put it on, it adds 10 additional attack power, but at the cost of 25% of your max HP.
And with the defense power of only 70, we're not sitting pretty quite yet with a Dragon Lord physical attack, but we're not in huge trouble either.
And chat noting about the fact that they only have small shields. None of the shops have a large shield, and well, we don't have the gold grind to get to a silver shield. And I don't think at this point grinding on golems that you're going to get to 14,800 gold when you're getting 10 a clip against the golems here. Already, you see, just going after these golems here, the experience lead jumping out to 4,300 and change.
And unfortunately for hopes of that silver shield, the golem doesn't give you very much gold at all, so really not going to be any natural grind going on, just going to be out of luck.
So already up to 9,138. 9,750, the target number for level 16. That is 612 experience away, so that'll be just over 2 golems. Alright, one more golem.
Yeah, so this level, and an excellent move to open it up, but only rolling 62. I guess with this attack power, it's not the worst the roll could be.
But not by much.
Show me that strength. Oh, man.
3. And 0 HP. 0 MP. True empty eye level.
Well, that was a level that exists.
So 9 more golems we go to level 17.
And luckily, the golems give a ton of experience, but they are taking just a little longer than we'd like to on a normal grind. So,
well, the stop spell is certainly prolonging it here. And the strength in that last level was 3, Walranium.
we will see if Tyerenex manages to stretch this this one life out through the rest of this level to get 1,500 more experience. I think it's unlikely, but it's doable if this golem likes to spam stop spell. Have we seen the stats of golems yet this game?
No, but we know that it's been doing a lot of fire breath and a pretty good amount of stop spell. Oh, you see it there. 25% stop spell, 75% baby fire breath.
All right, so it is possible to stretch it out, but it's not going to last forever. Tyerenex probably just going to hold on to the herbs that they have and just take as many down as possible. They should be about 1,000 away, either after this one or... Nope, there's the death. And I want to say Janus had gotten the rainbow drop, but may not have, and is just opting to live in these mountains right here, just outside of the big sea. And there they... Okay. I was going to call that a very interesting choice, but maybe it was just a little heel walker or something after getting a quick ambush by an enemy.
So Janus now going to do the sword dive. Now I wonder if they will be a little bit against the norm and perhaps bet on vanilla first, because this is a sword dive. It's not a dive for game.
Yeah, that's a choice that some runners like to make. I know a few will opt for that, but I think most will play the odds and say the treasury has more chests. So... So, barring some Sharlock hijinks, it looks like the story of this seed has just been the availability of keys, and Tyerenex kind of getting the exploration luck, wandering into Swamp Cave, and then getting to Remoldar with the ability to get keys after already kind of winning the race to Hurtmore. Just kind of compounded and snowballed into the race that we see right now.
Yeah, the point made in chat, the early excellent moves, those critical hits, that certainly helped Tyerenex get the advantage, where Janus was having a little bit more trouble getting just to even level 2, and that 2 to 3 different 3-minute differential, that, as you said, just snowballed and compounded throughout the seed.
Where is Tyerenex going right now? Are they looking for the red dragon?
I'm thinking, well, yeah, the chat's thinking that perhaps Tyerenex did not remember where Sharlock is. Although, in fairness, doing a little bit of walk and grind here, I think that he's heading in the right direction here. Yeah, there it is. So maybe it was just a long walk over to Sharlock, because it's not exactly readily available.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess I hadn't quite pieced together where Swamp South was in relation to Sharlock, so actually on a pretty good route there. I was just confused. I also expected Tyerenex to get the level before visiting an inn, just in case there was even more magic to be had. Would make a questionable attack point gain here on level 17 potentially worthwhile, if there's even more magic to be found on level 17.
Well, I guess Tyerenex figures if the level is going to be that much of a disparity, he's right by the entrance anyways. He's just one enemy away now from 12,000 experience.
But opts to run away from the blue dragon. I think guessing that they'll find an easier enemy? I for one would have taken the first enemy I saw and gone for the fight, but just because for some reason I have the worst feeling that this level is not going to be what we want to see.
Anticipating the game to be trolly?
I still have I have memories of the 3-hour seeds that we saw in the Swiss rounds, or the 2.5-hour seed that I got to play. Just needed one stat, level after level after level, just not to be found. So we'll see. We'll find out soon enough as Tyerenex swings at this blue dragon. I'm hoping it wasn't a miss menu and that they're actually going to take it out.
And it looks like he is. So here is level 17. Let's see the all-important numbers.
Empty
0
eye.
strength, 3 agility, 4 hit points, 1 magic point. Oh no. And immediately casting outside and saying nope.
I was trying to curse that. I was trying to give the commentator's curse that it would give a ton of stats so that we could go. But man, this is so borderline. Yeah, you could go. You could try it, but
it's one of those just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I don't know. It all depends on how you feel about the seed, right? I mean, some runners would feel behind and really try to make it go and potentially even throw in, you know, the YOLO swag finish just because you had to. The Death Necklace will get you to 129 attack power, but it'll put that 129 hit points down to, I believe, 96, which is just uncomfortable. So it looks like back to the golem grind, and we're going to see some more golem corpses pile up here.
Up to NG, yes, this is still going as the strength gains have been, dare I say, putrid. With the exception of one level where it went from level 14 to 15, I believe there was a 26 strength gain. But since then, between 15 to 17, there have been gains of just a total of 3. 3 at level 16 and 0 at level 17.
Yeah, I might have chanced it, just knowing that I have I start with 15 heal mores at the beginning, but the enemies aren't necessarily nice on the way down. You'd have to get pretty lucky, knowing that our agility is 82. It's good, but it's not great, and well, Charluck is a thing. You know, when you want to run, you might not be able to. All it takes is one enemy to run block you 3 or 4 times, and man, that's trouble.
Well, it looks like Janus is going to use an herb here just to make sure that they hang on. There's the fairy water, there's the big bucks, there is a misstep. There's some more big bucks. There's the magic key. There's a replacement herb, and there's the fairy flute.
And wow, this is a seed that exists. It had aspects to make it go fast, but then the stats just aren't coming along. So we're heading into our 100th minute here. I guess rounding out our 100th minute here at the 139 mark. And it looks like we'll probably have taken down about 100 golems by the time we're done.
So here we go. Level 18. Tyerenex going to give it a go.
Yeah, it looks like this is the go, but you really wanted to see it sooner. I'm not too concerned, and I know this might be a commentator's curse, but I think this will work out to be relatively safe. And unfortunately, just as Tyerenex gets to go mode, I have to go. Bagel is requiring more attention, and I can't abandon her for the dive. So you'll have to give the runners my best, and a huge thank you to our restreamer and our tracker today. I will catch you later, everybody.
All right. I guess I'll go ahead and take care of the closing moments here. Yeah, Bagel was infuriated that the seed the seed went the distance that it did. So now with 128 attack power, you almost wonder, I would say it's hard to say. I mean, as far as holding off on the death necklace or not. But we will see as Tyerenex makes his way down. Meanwhile, Janus, well, has the things and is now just trying to look for a spot to grind and looks to be doing so right outside of Sharlock. So Janus going to go with the Fairy Flute strategy. All right, let's see if that's any better here with some of the audio issues and whatnot. So Tyerenex able to get away here and is now on basement 4. As Janus has seen level 15 and is less than ecstatic about it. Despite the strength gain. So here is the penultimate basement. We are on the final floor here. Having a little trouble getting away from the stone man, but does. A bit of a debate in chat as to whether or not you put on the Death Necklace for an additional 10 attack. The concern, though, is that you bring your hit points dangerously low to have to potentially use double heal mores. So we have the Golem as the Guardian spot. I would say not putting on the Death Necklace here because you'll have 16 attacks on average with 15 heal mores. But we'll see what Tyerenex does here. It's one of those, it's faster but with greater risks, opts not to use the Death Necklace, and is going to decline the offer for half the world. Gets back attack from Dragon Lord 1. And, well, we shall see here. Alright, here we go to the second form of the Dragon Lord. Now, again, the attacks can be anywhere from 7 to 14. Doesn't get back attacked. Oh, and a minimum roll 7 to start. And another 7. Not a great way to start here. We're at 14. Not the time to be rolling 7s. This isn't the crap tables. We're up to 24 now. Oh, there's a big 13. We're at 37. Now up to 46 after that double attack. And that's the thing. The doubles are where it's certainly going to help here. We're up to 57 now with that double-digit attack. Now 66, and here's another double for 74. Still 9 heal mores to go. There's another double-digit attack. We're up to 86. We're at 99. This is still looking good. 111 now for Tyerenex. And here's another heal more. $120. Here's another double. $131. Not exactly a great heal more there, but it's enough. $140. So barring a miss menu here, Tyerenex is going to take this. There's $153, so the next attack could potentially do it unless it's a minimum roll. Or even a low roll for that matter. There's 10 for $163, and Tyerenex is going to do it. So Tyerenex walking up the promenade here. Get out your GGs in chat as Tyerenex is going to advance to the round of 16 with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 15 seconds. So he will move on and will face the winner of Zarnax 42 against Lorgon. And that matchup will be going on a little less than 24 hours from now. That'll be at 8:30 tomorrow evening on a network yet to be determined. So I'm going to go ahead and extend the offer to see if Tyerenex wants to join us here in the broadcast booth for a post-race interview. And we're being told from one of our administrators, Game Boy F9, that Randomania, this very network here, Randomania, will be hosting that Zarnax Lorgon matchup tomorrow in just in about 23 and a half hours time from now. And we have Tyerenex joining us here in the booth. Congratulations and GG on advancing to the round of 16.
Hey, thank you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Sweet, thank you.
Not a problem. So, where to start with this seed that was rather absent in terms of strength for a very, very, very large portion of it?
Yeah, it was, I don't know, what we were at, like 46 strength or something at level 14.
Yeah, prior to that gain at 15, you were at 48 strength, and then you'd gotten the huge 26 strength gain at level 15.
Yeah, that was good. I didn't know if, I mean, I think looking back it made sense, but diving for that sword, I usually, it's not something I do until I actually go for my dive, but I was like, this strength is so bad, I need to.
Yeah, and given that the grind options were less than preferable in the golems or the stone man if you opted at the swamp cave, that you knew that you need to bonk something.
Yeah, those golems, they ended up being, I was going back and forth on what I should grind on, but it ended up those golems were a lot friendlier than I thought they'd be because of the stop spell and the baby breath and all that. They weren't swinging that much at all, so it was actually a really...
Yeah, we had seen the stats a little bit in here. It looks like it was a 25% stop spell and 75% standard fire breath.
Yeah, so I assume the Stone Man had baby breath too, but I think he also had something nasty if I remember. I don't remember that well, but I remember the Stone Man not thinking that was going to be in it.
We see it's being brought up here. That's what it was. It was a 50% heal more. That
Oh,
the
yeah,
Man
that's
had.
right, yeah. So it actually all worked out. I actually was feeling pretty good about how, like, walking straight out of the opening castle and critting a Drakey, I was like, okay, this is probably...
Well, yeah, early on, you were definitely Captain Crit. That is for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I know I got a couple. I know I crit that first Drakey, and then I whittled one down on 7 attack power, and then I don't know. It just felt like playing the game vanilla. I ended up buying a club, and then I bought a copper sword, and it was just grinding my way.
Yeah, then you went to a hand axe and to a broadsword before finally.
Yeah. But was there any large shields anywhere, or did I just... I thought I checked everywhere, but then in the back of my mind, I'm like, I wonder if I just glossed over it, but I didn't see one.
No, you are correct. This particular seed had no large shields to be found, and there were also no... that looked to be nowhere in the mix.
Right. So I thought with my defense being as low as it was that not using the death necklace was the right move, but I don't think it mattered either way. I think 18 gave him more than enough stats to go either.
Yeah, it was a little bit faster. You would have had to worry about potential double heal mores, but with the 15 heal mores, you would have had a couple to potentially burn.
Yeah,
Let's see,
I had
138. I'm looking at the numbers here. So yeah, you would have had 15 heal mores still, but only an average of 12 attacks. So you could have double heal mored thrice and still had enough.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know some gap in my game knowledge is I didn't know how hard he could actually hit me for, so I was a little worried about that, and that's another reason why I didn't know if it was 49 or 50 that he could hit me for or something like that. So I was like, let's just go with the chance that I probably won't land on one of those three numbers that.
Well, it's a good thing because at your 77 defense, it would have actually or could have max melee'd for 51.
Yeah, I figured it was something crazy like that. So I don't think he ever hit me for that much, but yeah, I knew it was somewhere around the 50 range that he could hit me for. But I mean, other than that, I think the whole seed went well for me. I'm really looking forward to round of 16. I only made the round of 24 last year, so this is an improvement.
Absolutely, and we were noting here your potential opponent, the winner of Lorgon and Tyerenex. I hate to put you on the spot by asking this here, but any preference among the two, or is it kind of a pick your poison type thing?
I don't have any preference. I mean, once you get this far, they're all going to be tough. I know they're both, whoever I get is probably, I'm going to be a slight underdog against either of them. And, I doable. I could probably beat either of them, but I couldn't easily lose to either of them. So, whoever wins, good game.
Absolutely, and looks like... Yeah, I asked that question knowing that both Lorgon and Tyerenex were in chat, so that was a very astute and diplomatic answer.
Okay.
It wasn't meant to throw anybody under the bus. It was just more kind of a fun, let's see what he says kind of thing.
Yeah, when is that race, actually?
That race is actually 23 and a half hours from now. That is going to be at 8:30 Eastern tomorrow evening, right here on the Randomania Network. Commentary going to be presented to you by Sparkover and Ness Cardinality.
Sweet. Well, I have to get out of here, guys. Thanks for doing the comms. It was a fun race, and I will see you.
All right, sounds good. Congratulations again, and GG as Tyerenex heads on off here and heads into the round of 16, the 8th finals, as it were. So Janus, meanwhile, is looking to finish up here up to level 16, is continuing this outdoor grind of Sharlock here, working on some Wraith Knights, some Werewolves, and some Golems, and having the inn right there to stay. So up to 11.5, so only about 500 experience away. Also wizards in this zone as well. So it's not a bad zone, it's just there weren't a lot of great zones. I think some might argue that the golem grind would be at least more consistent, and you don't have to worry about these sleep casting werewolves, but you have the Hurtmore spell that you can utilize a little bit more. So it's probably is all a wash in the end. And in the meanwhile, I want to show a little bit of love to our folks behind the scenes here. Captain Green 7 taking care of the restreaming duties, and Ali Jerbrap on the tracking. And my co-commentator had to depart a little bit earlier here. Bobski, make sure to give him a follow. Bobski021. All fantastic people here. Oh, yes, and... Yes, Captain Green 7 also lending his bot as the Randroid for Randomania is apparently missing in action for the moment here. So here is level 17 with the 0 power, and well, a flustered Janus presses on. Oh, it's on vacation. Okay. Until Sunday. So chat noting the big thing was the level 4 lead at the start that never seemed to close the gap. Yeah, once Hurtmore came in, I want to say it was at level 7, that just turned the tide. So Janus, it looks like, is going to go for it here. And up to NG noting that with them going at 17, that it's or that 18 was a bit surprising. Well, Tyerenex, I know, is not as experienced of a runner, may not feel as comfortable taking that risk. I mean, with the 119 attack power, you know that Janus is going to throw the Death Necklace on here. And that will get them to 129 attack power. And since there wasn't really any gain in MP, the strength game was the only thing that put things over the top for 18 to make it definitive as opposed to risky. And another one of our competitors, Zarnax42, noting that 17 is really risky. I know, and I wouldn't feel great about it. I mean, there's, again, the 75 defense. That means you have the Dragon Lord meleeing for 51, and you're putting on the Death Necklace here where you have 97. I mean, there is room for a couple of heal mores, but Mr. Spokes noting in chat, is it really so risky if you're going to take the deal? I don't know. I'm pretty sure that this Dragon Lord's name is neither Howie Mandel, nor Monty Hall, nor Wayne Brady. So I don't know if a deal is going to be accepted here. Oh no, but unable to get away from a Star Wyvern. The Star Wyvern proving the Jerkbird, and no, that is that is definitely not Bagel, that is Puffin. Yep, my little combination Yorkie Poodle. She wants you to think she's tougher than she actually is. Exactly. She is she is very salty indeed. Yep, the next door neighbors must be out. I may have to tend to her in a moment if she continue. I don't know about a mohawk necessarily, but a tiny leather jacket and a spiked collar may not be out of the question. I mean, Halloween is coming up. We're about 6 or 7 weeks away. But that being said, restocking up on herbs, and Janus is going to make that go once again here. All right, now that Puffin has sufficiently been let out, back we go into Breckenary. So after an unfortunate series of steps, Janus is going to head on back here. And we will see if this dive goes a little bit better. And they can make it all the way down to take on and take out the Dragon Lord here. And to answer the question in chat, yes, there is another race coming up in just roughly 19 minutes from now. It is going to be right here on Randomania, so make sure to stay tuned. It's going to be Ness Cardinality taking on Jay Coper, Lorgon, and Z-Man on the call. Pretty much immediately after this race. Able to get away from the Axe Knight here. And correct, Game Boy F9, there was absolutely not large shield and not gold grind to get a silver, so small shield is all she wrote. And now we are down to basement 5. Oh yes, and a good point from Lorgon. The spike tile with the golem in Hawksness, not ideal for getting gold, as you're getting them 10 per kill. It's a long, long way to 14,800 from there. And yeah, to answer the question, I mean, Garanham did have Well, I mean, yeah, it would have been a very difficult to grind to do, as you could technically go into Garenham, go into the back of it where there was the Stones of Sunlight cave that had the gold to it. But because you have to go in and out of the overworld, you'd have to go into the back of the town. There was not really any type of an efficient way to acquire the gold needed. It was all spread around. There was the one in the throne room, one in Garen's grave, one in the mountain cave, one in the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave, one in Rimmildar. I mean, you have the two here in Sharlock, but that's about it. Yes, Garenham did have a replacement key. So it's doable, it just would be very inefficient. No, Garenham did have a key. No, it had a torch, magic key, and the death necklace. So I guess technically there were 2 gold chests. You could have the little one and then go back to get the big one. So you're looking at roughly 600 to 850 per trip. Meanwhile, Janus takes out the golem. Doing a little bit of a walk heal. And is not putting on the death necklace. So I'm wondering, I'm wondering if there is a plan of a YOLO Hurtmore here. I think with 119 attack power, it's just not, and already having used a heal more on the way down. Well, here we go. No back attack. And there's the YOLO Hurtmore right off the bat. So we know with 162 HP, probably going to have to hit 3 of them. And it's a 1 in 16 chance each time you cast it. The Hurtmores continue to not hit here. Using the last one, it has no effect. And that is going to do it. And Janus, they have forfeited. And that is going to do it. But a gallant effort nonetheless. It just was, it was a troublesome seed to say the least. And we saw the lack of strength gains. Putting out the invite for a few post-race words. So we will see about that, but in the interim, stay tuned here on Randomania, as in just about 10 minutes, I see here that that Z-Man getting ready here as he and Lorgon will be providing commentary for our other tournament race tonight. It's going to be Ness Cardinality taking on Jay Coper, the 12 versus 21 seed matchup. And they will go on to, the winner of that will go on to face Ryguy 3745, who had a victory, I believe it was last night, against J-Man 1865 in their first round matchup. So that will be an interesting round of 16, regardless of which way it goes, whether it's Ryguy against Jay Coper or Ryguy against Ness Cardinality. Either way, certainly looking forward to that. And we are looking to trying to see if we can get some word from Janus, see if they'll join us here. But if not, we may just end up wrapping things up here in a matter of moments, so that we can give time for the production crews to change on over. But yes, don't go anywhere, as more action coming your way in just a little bit here. Make sure to give both of our runners a follow, JanusZeal6 and Tyerenex. And also make sure to show some love to the folks behind the scenes. Ali Gerbrap on the tracking, Captain Green 7, the restreamer, my co-commentator who had to depart a little bit earlier due to some IRL situations, Bobski021, and myself. I am FearonBurgundy. Glad to have helped bring the entertainment to you here this evening. And I don't believe that we are going to hear from Janus at this point. So I think we are going to wrap it up here. That way we can give about 7 or 8 minutes or so for our crews to switch up. So don't go anywhere. So give you a chance to grab a beverage, take care of the washroom requirements and things of that nature, and then strap back on in for another fantastic race here in the bracket stage of the 2019 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament. So stick around here, and for all of our folks behind the scenes and in front until just a few moments from now, where we've got another matchup coming, I'm FearonBurgundy saying may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. Good night, everyone.